Dzień dobry, good morning. My name is Łukasz. I'm the tour guide of Warsaw, and now it's winter. Winter time is the low season for us tour guides, so it's a perfect moment for us to travel. I just came back to Warsaw 2 days ago. I was traveling to Japan. I spent there 2 weeks. I've been to the biggest cities of Japan, and I was experiencing different types of this customer service in Japan, different qualities of this customer service, and I learned a lot from it. I made a list of 10 lessons which I, as a tour guide of Warsaw, learned during this time in Japan. And as a tour guide of Warsaw, while being a tourist, I have actually perspective of two people. From one perspective, the perspective of a tour guide, so the technical approach to giving the customer service and increasing the quality and increasing the emotions of the tourist. But also, I have a perspective of a tourist. I would like to combine those two perspectives so you understand it much better. So talking about those lessons, let's start with them. Lesson number 1. I realized that the tour guides in general, that's such a wide amount of qualities, of personalities, of self-confidence levels, that it's very difficult to say that there is a way how to become a tour guide. But what's more, there is even much more ways how not to be a tour guide, how not to behave as a tour guide. First of all, you as a tour guide, so that's the lesson number 1, you as a tour guide, you are the person who is leading the group. If you want to lead, you have to be self-confident. And you can't ask every 5 minutes to your guest, what does he want? What does she want? Does she like it? Does he like it or not? It's important to ask for the perspective, for the opinion, but don't do it every time. Because you as a tour guide, you should lead, not ask all the time. And also second thing is, like also with the perspective of being a self-confident tour guide and leader, you have to know that the tour guide has this special rule. Tour guide should know what he is saying, not say what he knows. Big difference, because you're not supposed to talk all the time. Sometimes you need to give space. You have to choose what's the most important place to see and the most important history to tell. Second lesson is that when you're a tour guide, you should take care of a guest. You should be good for him, but not too much. And I have actually perspective of two completely different approaches. First approach was that I was on a group tour in one of the Japanese cities. It was like a 2-hour tour. For first half an hour, I was feeling that the tour guide really doesn't care about me, my feelings, doesn't even like her or his work, is tired, and it's really feelable. But in the same moment, this tour guide was really honest about it. And this honesty was giving some sort of a feeling safe that this person is honest, you can trust this person, which is actually quite cool. I mean, not being negative, but being honest, it's important in it, because you can be much worse in going to the completely opposite place, the place of pleasing all the time your guest. Jesus Christ. When you please all the time your guest, the guest feels like he's trapped and he doesn't feel comfortable. You have to give some space. Yeah, in some moment, I was one of the tours in one of the cities of Japan, and my tour guide was just all the time reacting in the same way he was asking a question, I was giving an answer, and he was always giving the same answer, the same emotion, the same answer. In some moment, I just realized that he's going to say, whatever I will say, he's going to give exactly copy-paste the same reaction. It was so tiring, and to be honest, I didn't know how to communicate it. He's the tour guide, he's the leader of the meeting. Lesson number 3. I was on one of the tours in Tokyo. I was having a tour guide. She was very small. I mean, she was like 1 meter 50 centimeters, not very charismatic. Her language was fine. Her English language was fine. But the thing is that she was speaking very quiet, not very charismatic, and I'm judgmental in this way because I'm always putting a lot of emotions in my way as I'm leading the tours and making a show. But what I learned there, that people listening to her, even with these small emotions, why? Because she was having a lot of information, a lot of knowledge, and she knew how to deliver it. So show is important, but in most of the situations, just the knowledge will defend itself. It's going to be a good tour. Lesson number 4. I was in one of the cities, and I booked a tour. Booked a tour which I paid in advance, and it was cancelled 30 minutes before the tour starts. So I already was going to the from the hotel to the meeting point of the tour, and I saw, like, when it was just 5 minutes away, that actually the tour got cancelled. So I booked in the last moment. It was cancelled like 10 minutes later, and I was already going for the tour. So it's important not to cancel the tour in the last moment. It was cancelled because there was not enough people who joined the group. So that's not really cool thing to feel, that you are walking a place which you don't know. You're looking for the tour guide, and it turns out then the tour got cancelled. I received an email because I had internet. Not every guest is having internet. So if you want to cancel, do it in advance. Couple of hours in advance at least. Or maybe text the tourist to check if he's good. I mean, if he got this information. It's not very expensive. It's a simple thing to text, especially since in every reservation form, you put your phone number. So just text, send a WhatsApp message. Lesson number 5. I was in Hiroshima, and it's gonna be a super cool thing. I was in Hiroshima. By the way, sometimes I'm having 2 lessons, positive and negative lesson, in the same place with the same tour guide. So that's why I'm mixing some of the names of the cities and places. So I was in Hiroshima, and actually before I went there, I had quite big, let's say, statistically very big research about the place of Hiroshima and the atomic bomb of Hiroshima. My tour guide asked some kind of a question. I answered it, and the tour guide was self-confident enough that he valued it, and I felt good with it. But I can imagine a situation when the tour guide is just feeling that the person is confident about the knowledge, and he's just feeling less confident. So no, just say that your tourist is right. I mean, if he's right, say that he's right in front of people. The tourist is feeling taken care of, and he's feeling recognized. And then continue your tour, because the tourist came to listen something to you. So don't worry about the tourist who knows much. He's coming there anyway to learn something more. And most probably you as a tour guide, you have a lot of knowledge. That's number 6, is that there are people and there are tours, and people who are expecting tour which to be more about the information, and there are tours which are more about the experience. If your tour is very historical, so just focus on a historical thing. If your tour is about experience, like for example, going to the farm of alpacas and doing things with alpacas, that's fine to go about alpacas a bit, but let people give the food to alpacas. Or let people, if it's a food tour, let people to eat this food, think about this food, what they're eating. You don't have to talk with them constantly, yeah? Because then they feel that they don't have enough space, and they want to have space to experience some things on their own. If they want to give you their perspective, they will tell it to you. That was number 6. Number 7 now, lesson number 7. It was amazing. During one of my tours in Tokyo, I was having a great food tour. I'm going to talk about this food tour in a moment as well. And at the end of this tour, the tour guide gave the QR code leading to opinions. So I was cooperating with different companies. Some of the companies were giving the business cards with a QR code. Even in Poland, we do it in one of the companies which I'm cooperating with. But here, when you receive a business card with a QR code, you take the business card, you put it in a pocket, and you think, I will do it sometime in the future, which means most probably never. But if you show the QR code in the same moment when you show it to the tourists, you just show it on your phone, so they can take this QR code back to their home. The only thing they could do is they can scan it. They scan it, they go to the page, and it turns out that already there is a space for the opinions to leave their opinions. Great thing to do, because instantly they can leave the opinion. They're already on the page. They just need to write 5 words, 2 sentences, and it's done. And you have an opinion. It's a really good thing not to give the business cards with QR codes, but just show the QR code to the tourists. They are scanning it right away. It's much faster. You have the opinion immediately, and I'm sure that the success fee of these opinions is much better. You have much more of them. That's number 8. I was in one of the attractions of Tokyo, which was called the Maid Cafe. Maid Cafe, it's a place which I'm never going to visit anymore. It was terrible from my perspective. It's a place where you have waitresses, women. They're wearing like maids in this kind of, in the same moment, sexual and very infant way, like very not adult way, like a teenagers. And for me, it was disgusting. So I was feeling very uncomfortable about it. And I mean, I understand some people like it, and I see that in Japan it's very popular. In Tokyo, there are like 7 cafes, maid cafes. I've been there because one of my friends who is a tour leader in Japan, he recommended me. I didn't like it, which is fine. But when I ordered the drink and they're preparing the drink for like 10 minutes or 15 minutes, it didn't arrive yet. And I was feeling less and less and less comfortable there because of this over-sexualization there. And I just asked the waiter like to let me out because I don't feel comfortable. And after a moment of pushing, she gave up and she said that I can go. So of course she could let me to stay because I ordered a drink, they're preparing the drink. So they didn't have a huge cost to, they didn't have a huge cost to create a drink, yeah? Especially non-alcoholic drink. But they just let me go because they knew that if I'm going to stay, they're going to push me to stay. They will earn a little bit more money, but they're going to have a big enemy in my person. So sometimes it's good just to give up. If sometimes doesn't feel your quality, just let them go. They'll be grateful to you, and they are not going to become your enemies. So sometimes it's good to just let it go. Lesson number nine. Japanese people, they are preparing very well for different situations, and I thought that I'm well prepared as a tour guide. But Japanese people, they are much better. When I was on a viewing point for the Fuji mountain, the most important mountain for Japanese people, there was it's in general place of tectonic activity. So there are the sulfur fumes, hot springs, blah, 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 blah. There might be an earthquake, yeah? So in the viewing point, there was in a very visible place a huge wardrobe with a glass where you saw food rations, helmets, water supply, etc., etc., etc. So in case of any problem, they would just give to people. People are taken care of. It's important to be prepared, or even the tour guide. Recently, last month in Japan, there were a couple of attacks of bears in the mountains of Japan, in the forests, on people. Some people were even injured or even maybe killed. And actually, when I was in Koyasan, the Buddhist mountain in Japan, close to Osaka, a very holy place, there's a very important, probably the most known cemetery in whole Japan called Okoin, the Okoin cemetery on Kaiosan. So when we were in Kaiosan, which is the Buddhist place, Buddhist center of Japan, there's a beautiful cemetery with 200,000 graves. There was our tour guide who took with him the pepper spray for the bears. And lesson number 8. Lesson number 9 will be connected to lesson number 8. The tour guide there, he was a Japanese person and a monk. So, this is the thing about the perspective of your expertise if you're a tour guide. If you are, let's say, American tour guide in Japan, you're American person in Japan. If you're a Polish person in Norway, you're a Polish person in Norway. But if you're a Japanese person in Japan, you're much more charismatic. People trust you more. If you're a Buddhist person, like a Buddhist monk, in a Buddhist cemetery, you're also much more reliable. People can trust you more. It's easier to build your position. So it's important to have expertise or even the deeper connection to the place which you're doing the tours of. That was lesson number 9 and lesson number 10. And now lesson number 11 is a bonus lesson, which I realized I'm going to give one more lesson. Number 11, when I was doing this amazing tour, or the food tour in Tokyo. So our meeting point was in front of the temple. And despite the fact that the temple is not the part of the tour, the temple is temple, place to worship, and the food tour is about eating. But the tour guide showed us the temple, told about the temple. We entered the temple, and together we sent our intentions. She told us, how do you call it? Like, how to use the incense there, how to pray, etc., etc. It was a very cool experience. It was something which we didn't expect, and it was increasing our happiness about the tour. It was increasing our satisfaction during the tour. Lesson number now 12. It's a bonus lesson. This country is very service-oriented. When doing its service, we often plan in the way of design thinking, how to adjust it. The experience is going to be easier, better, more comfortable to the tourists. And the most significant experience of it, I experienced during my last night in Tokyo, when I was already next day coming back to Poland. I will show a couple of pictures and films from this moment. I entered the hostel, which was only for men hostel. Capsule hostels. Capsule hostels, they're innovative in Japan. For the businessman or the salaryman, they are finishing their work. They're going to very often to drink after with their colleagues, and then they're drinking. If they're finishing at like 11, 12 p.m., 12 p.m., 1 p.m., 12, so the midnight or 1 a.m. So very often the trains don't work anymore, they don't ride anymore. So then those businessmen, they're just going to capsule hotel and they have everything there. They can wash themselves, their flip-flops, etc., to prepare for the next day and next day to start fresh. Instead of going to some hotel and not having anything which this person needs for the next day. So in this case, it was the most incredible capsule hotel I've been to Japan. I've been a couple of those capsule hotels. So just after entering, you had to take off your shoes. That's a normal thing in Japan. Then also, just next to the entrance, there was a little table, and there were different things. There were the chemical hand warmers in case you were leaving, so you're taking hand warmer. It was warming your hands up. Second thing, there was also the disinfection deodorant. So in case you're entering and you were walking for the whole day, not to smell too much, you're having this shoe deodorant. And also there was this waterproof solution. Yes, in case there was a water and rain, so you just were spraying it on your shoes, and your shoes were dry. Then you were entering the reception. There was a big box for the used flip-flops, and then there were 2 wardrobes with fresh, sanitized flip-flops. You're choosing your size, you're going there, then you're checking in, you're leaving your shoes in one locker, closing it, checking in, going to with the new flip-flops to the lockers, the big lockers, you're leaving your luggage. Then in the reception, there was also a place where you could take the pajamas, then you could change into pyjama. Then there was the first floor where you were having the cleaning place. I mean, there was this traditional Japanese onsen, and all of the things which you needed there, they were there, like shaving machines, toothbrushes, shaving foams, different types of lotions and shampoos. So many I don't even know how to use them. I mean, as a man, I can use shampoo. I know the difference between shampoo and the bath gel, and most often the bath gel is just universal for us as men. And there are so many different products, they know how to use it. I'm very happy because if I would be Japanese, I would know so much about it, how to use them. I think we as people in Europe, we should learn more how to use the things to make our skin look younger. Then you were going to it also in the same place when there was the cleaning place, the showers and the onsen, the traditional Japanese bath. There was also the washing machines and the dryers, of course. But also they provided, the first time I saw it, they provided a basket with balls made of wool, like woolen balls. When you were drying your laundry, you're putting it in the dryer and you're putting there as well those balls. Thanks to it, it was decreasing the humidity somehow. It was drying faster, or that's how it was most probably working. Once again, they are preparing the services to be as service-friendly as possible. Everything is prepared, well planned. Then there was the 3rd floor. On the 3rd floor, there was food, massage chairs. There was food, like free of charge food, some soups, and then rice, and then udon soup and ramen soup, and tofu and curry as well. For the next day, like 24 hours almost, there was some food available there. If you're hungry, there were drinks, different types of drinks. Then there was your floor with your capsule hotel. And there were different capsules. In a capsule, you had everything which you needed, like, of course, the pillow and the blanket, but also there was the TV, there was the charger, etc., etc., etc. The one thing which I learned in Japan is how to increase the quality of your service to your tourists by making the service-oriented. I want to say family-friendly, but to make it as friendly for your guests as possible, to think about what your guests want to receive and just deliver it. Deliver it, because then your guest is going to be very happy. He's going to come back. The more happy he is, the more possibilities that he's going to come back, or he's going to recommend your services to your guests. So that's all. These were 10 lessons, plus additional 2 free of charge lessons about how to increase the quality of your service as a tour guide of Warsaw after coming back from Japan. My name is Łukasz. I'm the tour guide of Warsaw, capital of Poland. If you'd like to come for my tour, would like to hear my voice, learn more about Warsaw, please hit me up, WhatsApp, or my webpage, Warsawluke.pl, or Instagram, Warsawluke. So thank you very much, dziękuję bardzo, do zobaczenia, goodbye.